I forget. But welcome, guys. So this is our weekly Attracting Team open office call. And so for those of you who haven't been on this before, the way we usually run it is I do about half hour of just training on attracting team. And then about a half hour where I just open it up to help you guys with conversations. If there's someone that you're talking to right now and you don't know how to move the conversation forward, it's one of my zones of genius. So I'm here to help you guys with that. But first and foremost, I wanted to talk about, attracting team using social media and give you guys a couple of tips that I find really work when it comes to being someone that's, magnetizing, that's just attracting people to ask you more questions. And so first and foremost, the thing that I highly recommend is to make sure what I call your shop window is looking quite obvious. So I've done this training before, not this one I'm going to do. I've done a training before for my team where in a past life, about 10 to maybe 15 years ago, I used to manage retail stores, fashion retail stores for my ex-husband. And I liken this business and a lot of the activities we do to having a retail shop. So I call our social media our shop front. So if you're walking through a shopping center, the thing that's going to get you curious and looking in the store is what's in the window. The outfits that they put there, maybe the accessories, maybe they're talking about some deals that are going on or some stuff that's happening. Like there's stuff in the window that you look at that kind of makes you lean in and say, I think I want to take a little bit more of a look there. Now, you're not always going in to buy, right? Sometimes you're just going in because you're curious. Maybe, like the shop we were at, maybe you're looking for an outfit for, an event you've got coming up, but you're not quite there yet. Sometimes you're just browsing. But I'll tell you something, when you walk into that store, because the shop window has got you in, like I said, your social media has attracted someone in, what is the first thing that a good employee does when you walk into a shop? Can anyone tell me that in the chat? What do you expect that they would do? Thank you. They would say hi, say, hey, how you going? How's your day? So this is like when someone gets on your social media and starts interacting or liking with your posts or, commenting, whatever it may be, talk to them, guys. Like that is someone who's come into your shop. Welcome them, make them feel comfortable. Like, hey, thanks for the comment, thanks for being here. Just welcome them, make them feel acknowledged. Okay, make them feel like, oh, I've been seen. That's it to start with, right? The next thing that someone will do when you walk into a shop, and I would have said this phrase 75,000 times in my life, is, are you looking for anything particular today or are you just browsing? I would always say that to every single person who walked in, even if they didn't really look that interested in buying clothes, even if I was like, oh, you don't look like the type of person who wants to wear the clothes in this shop. Like, do you guys ever prejudge and you're like, oh, you don't look like someone who would want to get healthy, or you already look really healthy. Maybe you don't need our products. Like, do you guys ever, hopefully you don't prejudge someone and say, oh, they already look really healthy, they won't want our products. Or, oh, they look really rich. Wow, their house is fancy. Like they got a nice car. They wouldn't need our business. Like, trust me, we all do it. But I'll tell you one thing, it's often the people who look the wealthiest and spend a lot of time and money trying to show off their wealth that kind of don't have a lot. They're spending all of it trying to look really rich and wealthy and expensive. But, don't prejudge, okay? So I want you to understand that this is the same process in our business. So they come in, you say hello, and you ask them if they're looking for anything in particular. Now, Denise Whelan gave some really good verbiage, which I'm going to try to remember, but essentially it was something like, you could say to someone who has come to your social media and interacted, if they like on a post, right, about team or about being a customer, that you might say to them, are you interested in more of what I do in my business? Or are you interested more in these products or this program I've been posting about? Or are you just being a cheerleader? Good one, Simone. You've been taught well. This is why Simone is already a senior partner with 27,000 customers, right? She's being teachable. She's listening. So you would send a message saying, hey, curious, are you just being a cheerleader or do you want some information about what I do? Now, some people on social media, this is like, if you can do this, it's amazing. Send a message to every single new follower. Like, hey, thanks for being here. Everyone obviously here is working off different programs. Some of you have preview groups for your, for your program with the product. So you could offer, hey, I'd love to pop you in our free preview group if you're up for it. Thank you so much for following. Just as a gift, there are some recipes or whatever's in yours, and you can kind of offer them something to start the conversation. But again, when someone comes into your place of business, please interact with them. Okay. And then the next thing is, like, again, in a shop, I'm helping them out. If there's something they're looking for, if they're saying, look, I need like a white dress, I'm going to a white party on the weekend, I need a white dress. I'm like, amazing. So tell me, like, what's your style? What do you like? Do you want short, long? Do you like it fitted? Do you want it more floaty? Like, I'm finding out what they want, which is what we would do here as well. Now, around attracting team, we would start asking more questions around what they're looking for in their life that they don't currently have. Okay. So I want you to understand this little process. And like I said, this call is about attracting team. So I really want you guys to kind of think of this in a team perspective, not so much what would I do if, to attract a customer, but it's make sure first and foremost, make sure your social media makes it pretty damn obvious that you have a business where you teach women or men or people how they can work from home, work from their social media, work from their, beach house or from the beach or wherever. They can work from anywhere in the world to make an income online. Now, I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 10. If you were a stranger looking at your social media right now, and when I say looking at your social media, people are going to look at the first probably 3 to 4 Facebook posts, and they're going to look at the first 6 to 9 Instagram posts here, plus your bio. So I want you to ask yourself, if I was a stranger looking at my social media platform that I'm using most often, rate yourself out of 10, 1 being people would have no idea, no clue that I have the golden ticket on how to create a residual income, on how to have your plan B for if our world becomes an absolute like bomb site and interest rate goes up and a recession hits. Like, I have the gift here. I can teach you how to make money online. A 1 if people would have no idea, and a 10 if it's like blaringly obvious, like one of your last 6 posts is about it, about the business, or is about what we do, or one of, your bio says it, obviously. I want you all to rate yourself. So Natasha's 5 to 6, Simone is an 8, Deja's an 8, Beth's a 5, Rach a 10. I love it. I love it. Keep going, guys. There's 33 of you on here. I want to see 33 comments. Not that I'm going to be counting. 6, 4 to 5, 2, 9, 6, 9. All right. Awesome. So if you're anywhere below a 7, this is something you want to work on straight away. Because again, it's like walking past a clothing store that doesn't have clothing in the window. Like, it's like walking past a clothing store and in the window is photos of their kids and dog. How many people here, honest to God, are a little bit guilty of being like, my shop window is photos of like the food I've eaten, my kids, and some rainbows, right? Like, it's okay to have that stuff, but you want it to be blaringly obvious. If you guys want to build a business here, Sue Parkin, your hair is looking mighty fine today. I love it. If you guys want to build a business where you're attracting team, you've got to make it obvious that you can help them, okay? So the first thing is, I want you guys to go away from this call. We're not going to do it right now, but I want you to go away from this call and I want you to work on, how do I make it clear to people what I have to offer? So again, if I had a shop that was selling, Tamara's got a beautiful sunflower in her photo. If I had a shop that was selling sunflowers, I damn well want to have some sunflowers in my window, right? So I want you to make sure that when you look at your page, it's an 8, 9, or 10 in, like, it's so obvious that I help people to create an income. Okay, that's the first step. The second step to attracting team, utilizing social media. The second step is to welcome everyone that comes into your shop. Okay. However, you can make this a habit. Now, training 2 weeks ago, I taught all of you how to utilize our DMO sheet. Okay. If you don't have it, it'll be in your team pages. You can ask your leaders for it. It's everywhere. It should be in all the pages now. And you can go back and watch that training. I want you guys to make sure that in that time, you're going through and you're interacting with people in your page. So anyone who, and this is in the DMO sheet, anyone who's liking or commenting on your posts, and the next level of that, like I want to create a full-time, part-time to full-time income here. The next level of that is welcome all your new followers. Now, this can take you 2 to 3 minutes a day. So essentially what that means is you go to new followers, and if you're using Facebook, then new people you've added as friends, and you send them a message like, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for following. Maybe you can offer them something free if you have it. Maybe you've got a free guide or book or whatever it may be. You go and you welcome them. Thanks for being here. Hey, if you're ever interested in anything I post about, like, feel free to send me a message in here. My inbox is always open. Now, if you've got like 100 new followers a day, maybe you can hire a VA. Maybe you can hire a VA to do that, right? But most people don't have 100 new followers a day unless you're like really smashing the hashtags or creating viral content. So this should be really achievable for all of you to do. Simone said, I touch base personally and put up a weekly post saying, welcome to all the newbies. That's amazing. Make people be like, I'm in a community here and I'm welcome. Okay. So first of all, talking to people. And then second of all, when someone's commenting or interacting specifically on a post where you're talking about the business, send them a message, even if they've just liked your post. You've done a picture of a community image of the team and, 20 people have liked your post. You should go to all 20 of those people and say, hey, thank you so much for loving on the post. Curious to know, are you just being an epic cheerleader? Or would you like to know more about what I do in this business? Would love to help you. Like, give them an out. Like, you're just being a cheerleader. That's giving them an out. Like, they're like, oh no, I just liked it because it's a pretty picture. It's like, cool. So you're being a cheerleader. Thank you. Like the same way that you would say to someone, are you looking for anything in particular or not? If they say to me, actually, no, I'm just browsing. I'm not like, okay, well, you need to buy this dress today, because that would be awkward. I'm like, okay, awesome. Like, if you see something you like or you want to know more, like, just let me know. I'm here to help. Right? And then if the people are still hanging out in your shop, especially, like, you're following them up, like, hey, I can still see you liking on my stuff. Like, what's going on here? Just keep the relationship going. When people were hanging out in the shop and looking at a lot of stuff, I'd start chatting to them. Tell me, what are you up to this weekend? You going out anywhere? I'd be relationship building, which is what I want you to do in your inbox and with people who are hanging out on your page. Okay. And so around just what to share on social media for the business, just to give you guys some extra tips if you need it. Because one thing I find, and this, I know there's a lot of new people who aren't usually on this call. At the beginning of us doing these open office calls, one really big thing I noticed was when I was asking people, what do you post about the business every day? Everyone was answering with product posts. So people were saying, oh, I post taking my smoothies, and I post, my workout, or I post about our program, or I post, my kids having the gummies. And so I really want you all to have a strong realization that they're two separate things. Our business is a product and our product is a product. And this call is all about our business product. So essentially what you want to ask yourself, and I want you guys to put it in the chat, what can you be sharing on your social media that attracts people around our business? What kind of posts, stories, what things are you putting on Facebook and Instagram? Pop it in the chat that is attracting people to want to know more or to learn more about our business. Don't be shy. Team training. Yes, Marie, like this right now, like guys, if you can have your camera on, have your camera on, take a photo of the whole group, the screen, like we can do a 3, 2, 1 if everyone wants, and everyone can like smile and look happy. Because sometimes on You know, like sometimes you do these, you do your boomerang and everyone's like concentrating. So don't do that. So if anyone wants to take a screenshot, where literally you've got 5 seconds to get your phone, your cameras ready, get your boomerang ready, 4 seconds, 3, if your camera's on, unless you are the beautiful Catherine carrying a baby, 2, 1, everyone smile. And we're done. Look, happy training, right? So literally doing a post like that, I love that I get business training from my mobile phone while I'm out for a walk. I love that I can be rocking my gorgeous baby to sleep and I can be learning about how I get to create an income from home on social media. I love that I am recession proofing my life in my lunch break, right? One of those things, post something about the business every day. So number 1, yes. Let me just scroll up. You guys wrote a few things. So I love it. Team training posts. Simone said I need to work on the business post. Most people do, which is why I hope that this training becomes very invaluable to you. Sue writes poetry. I love it. Mostly the community. So guys, when you are hanging out with people in your Juice Plus family, get as many photos, selfies, pictures, working on laptops, all of the things as you possibly can. Like every time you are with your Juice Plus family, or even if you're like, I'm at home and I'm on my laptop, you know, ask your hubby, your kids, your partner, can you just take a photo of me working? Just, babe, can you just get your phone and can you just take a photo? And you just say to him, just take one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. And you just sit and you like look like you're working on your laptop, and then you do a post and you can use the same photo in your stories once a week, right? Once you've posted something, it doesn't mean that you can't post it again. And you're like, I love my life. I get to work from my couch. You know, if your kids are around you watching Bluey on TV, like I love that while my kids are watching Bluey, I get to build my wealth. It is amazing, right? The community coaching calls, you know, if you have a team member join and they're on a call with you, do a post like, you know, welcoming Beck Craig into the team, like do a post with the 3 of you on a Zoom call, like so excited to have her in, you know, working on her goals, making sure, you know, like whatever it may be that you guys are actually doing, obviously don't lie or be inauthentic, but, you know, working on goal setting for Beck, working on getting her first $500 to $1,000 in her bank account this month, potentially, like all of the things. Training and personal development, yes. Beck does amazing with this ambassador post with a poll in my story. So she literally, I think it's every week, maybe a couple of times a week. Beck does a post like join my team, become an ambassador for our program, become an ambassador for our products. And she puts a poll in so people can vote. People love voting and pressing buttons. And sometimes they just do it for fun. Like they don't actually really want to learn anything. They're like, oh, a button, I'm going to press it. Like we do that since we're kids, right? We just can't help ourselves, but it starts the conversation. So again, you can go in and be like, hey, babe, thanks for voting. Curious, did you want to learn more or did you just want to vote? Like, or are you just, again, being a cheerleader, right? Training, personal development, work from everywhere, personal development, connections. Can someone pop that pic in the chat? Yeah, if anyone did get that picture, share it if you can. I don't know if you can post it in the chat box here, but maybe in your team page or something like that. So there's some ideas of what you can share around the business, okay? People want to see, now I really want you, I know I spoke about this a bit last week, but people really want to see your journey more than they just want to see you as your most amazing self. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I love watching someone starting their journey and learning through fresh eyes with them. You know, I've got a friend right now who's going through some health stuff and she's relearning a lot of stuff and I'm relearning with her. You know, I've just gotten rid of some toxic cookware. Like I've noticed that the air fryer tray that we were using was not, it wasn't healthy. It was non-stick and it was coming off and it wasn't doing the right things. And I'm getting a phone call right now from my own phone number. How random is that? Like literally my actual phone number is calling me. That's got to be a spam. You know, so people want to see the universe is calling. It's like, hey, you just won $1 million. Sorry, I missed the call. Yeah, so people want to see your journey. So I said this last week, but my social media growth in the beginning was so strong because I was literally getting on and being like, oh my gosh, did you guys know this. Oh my gosh, did you guys know that when you eat sugar, this is what happens to your body? Like my whole health journey, I was so ignorant. I used to eat Cocoa Pops for breakfast. I had ice cream, like low fat ice cream every night with that ice magic that like cracks, right? I was nothing like I am now around food. I was literally like, health? What is health? Like I eat carrots like in my food sometimes. Like I would never eat a raw carrot. And people love just watching me learn things. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can eat raw carrots and they actually taste good if you put them with this hummus. You guys, like I would say stuff like that. I had no idea. And people loved following the journey. You don't need to be the expert, okay? Other things people love to see is just where you're working from. So if you're on the beach or like walking the beach or walking through a park, we're probably with our weather right now, we're not going to the beach a lot. Do a little selfie, like love doing business calls from the beach. Team calls, team member appreciation, what you're buying with your pay. Like we're all getting paid in about 2 weeks. Post about what you're using that money for. Are you getting yourself some new gym clothes? Is it paying debt off? How much closer is your debt being paid off? Like I literally, if I had debt, which thanks to this business, I don't anymore. If I had debt, and this is up to how open you want to be with the people on your social media, I would be posting, this is my number. I owe $7,856. And thanks to my Juice Plus pay, I just got that number down to this. And every month you're like sharing how that number's going down and people are on the journey. And then you know what they're going to do when you're debt free? They're going to celebrate with you. People want to see the journey. Okay. Conference, obviously all 35 of you are coming to conference. I'm not even going to question that. So conference is going to be an amazing place where you can get some content, take photos, cafe hustles. When you are with your team and juicy friends, go up to them. You guys can do this to me at conference if you want to. Get your camera out and be like, hey, Ange, can I ask you a question and film it? Come up and be like, okay, hey, Ange, I would love to know, what has this community done for you? The person will answer it authentically, beautifully, and then you have some content to share online. If you can go and do that with 10 people, just go up and be like, go to your leaders and say, hey, can I ask you one question and film it for my social media? Totally. You totally can tomorrow. I'm creating a monster here because there's going to be like 35, but we're all going to be going to each other like, we're going to take videos. But literally, don't overthink it. My tip would be don't filter it either. Like don't do it on social media with the filter on, because that lowers the quality and also it limits the time, and you could miss out on some really sometimes when people share, they share it. So just put it on your normal camera, get it out, film it. Hey, Ange, can I ask you a question? Is that cool? Put the camera in front of my face and yeah, go for it. And ask people different questions like, hey, what has the Juice Plus company done for you? Where were you when you started this? And what's your life like now? Hey, tell me, like, if you want to do products, what have the products done for you? What do you love about the Juice Plus products? And please keep your answers compliant. And Craig said, change your camera settings to 4K. So it's really good quality. I did that and it was like game changing. Okay. So go ask people questions. Don't overthink it. Like just go for it. All of the leaders, if you see a PMD leader, especially, like I want Adam Westwick to be like, he can't hear me right now, but I want him to be like, Ange, what on earth? All these people were coming up and like asking me, like filming me and asking me questions. Who told them to do this? And I'm going to be like, it was me and it's amazing. And that way you also have videos that you can share with men, like you can be like, oh my gosh, for all the men in my community, here is a guy who literally went from busting his ass in a business and taking nothing home for himself to a man who earns, second highest earner in Australasia in our company. Like it's amazing, right? Another thing, share like freedom that you have through this business. What has this business given you that you didn't have before? Talk about it. Obviously share when you get a new team, when they have success, create FOMO, and you can share other team members' wins. So if you aren't attracting as many team or getting as many promotions, go into your team page and be like, hey, I want to celebrate some people. Who's new? Who's got a post of like a new person here or a promotion post that I can share on my social media and celebrate you guys too, so that people can see, okay, there's other people that are winning here. Okay. And then again, create conversations with anyone who interacts on your post, connect with people, you know, based on what they post about, and just keep building relationships, you know, break the ice and start the foundations of a friendship. Like some of my best friends, one of my absolutely best friends is on this call right now, Beck Craig. It all started through a conversation on Instagram. Literally. And this girl is like one of my besties, was a stranger to me 3.5 years ago, but we started a conversation. We had a back and forth. I tried to get her on a 3-way call about 17 times and she was always too busy for me. And now I'm like, you're like my sister, right? Remember that you can start conversations with strangers who become family. Okay. And like, I know that it can feel overwhelming to start conversations with new people. But if you always come from the place of just staying in your heart and how can this help them, it gets you out of your head of thinking, oh, what if I'm rejected? What if I'm this? What if I'm that? And it just gets you back to, you know, doing this from a place of, I think what we're all here for is to help others. Okay. Nick said, I was awarded Rookie of the Month. Congrats. And shared what I bought with my voucher I won. I made this purchase relatable to my following as well. That's amazing, Nick. Now one last thing on social media that I want to share in here. I think you want to ask yourself, and I love that Nick has said this because I feel like this is really relevant, is ask yourself, you know, who is my audience? Who am I trying to attract? You know, who am I really wanting to call into my space here? And I have a really big rule, like no one's ever outside of my niche, so to speak. Like I'm like, I'll take anyone, but I know that when I'm talking on social media, I'm specifically talking to other mums like me who have kids of school age, who want to be able to have their own independence and make their own money. Right? And then look at what you're putting out to the world on your social media or in person as well. And ask yourself, like, would I be someone that I would trust? Would I be someone that people would be curious to know more about what I do? Do I make it look like people can do what I do? Okay, that's a really important part. Now, a lot of people, obviously one of my biggest objections is I don't have a big social media following like you. So sometimes I can't make what I do seem totally relatable because I'm like, not everyone has a large social media following, but I can share all about the rest of my team and how they do this around their kids and how we're co-working and how the mum who's working full-time corporate has been able to cut her hours and spending more time with her kids, right? So ask yourself the question, do I make it look like you can do what I do? Show the juggle, you know, in line. Like I will do stories all the time when I'm in line at school pickup. Like I rock up at school pickup at 2 p.m. because my goodness, the traffic around my kids' school is terrible. So if I get there at 2, I get a park and I wait for an hour and I sit in my car and I do specific DMO items on my phone from my car, and I'll do a story and I'll be like, you know, waiting for the kids, and I'll share because the traffic's horrible and parking's bad. I come early and I love that I can just work from my phone. You know, I can't always fit it all in one day, but I always know that at school pickup, I have an hour, 45 minutes where I can just get back to people, you know, do messages, right? And then when you are talking to people, remember the 3 C's. You want to show up confident. You have the gift. You have the gift. Like they're lucky that you're sharing this with them. Certain, like you need to know where you're going. You need to know where you're going, guys. Like I know exactly where I'm going, and people feel that certainty. And it's like when you talk to people, and not in an arrogant way, but when you're talking to people, you're coming from a place of, I'm going and I'm taking whatever your number is. My number's 50. I'm taking 50 people with me. You can be one or not. You'd be really lucky to be one though, because this community is amazing. And the income you can make here, the growth and development, the friends you'll make, you will be so lucky to be a part of this. So have certainty in where you're going, but also just be charismatic, right? Be kind. Don't be short with people. You know, I'm always a big fan of just be overly kind in messages, because things can be kind of misread sometimes if you're short with someone. You know, I put probably like a few too many exclamation points and a lot of smiley faces and love hearts, and just be nice to people, because I know that sometimes when people write back and they're short with me, it might just be the way they communicate, but I'm like, oh, that wasn't nice. Like sometimes I'm like, people can misread. So be charismatic, be nice. And then lastly, ask yourself, how are you showing up to other people and how are you showing up to yourself? So, think about all of this stuff. How am I showing up for social media? How am I presenting to other people? But most importantly, in your business, are you showing up for yourself in your business? What are the non-negotiables of structure in your day for yourself and your business? Showing up to training calls like this is awesome. But if you're not doing your DMO, I am telling you right now, you're not allowed to get on any more trainings until you've nailed getting your DMO done. And I say that with love, because I know that a lot of people get on the trainings because they're like, it's my hit of inspiration. Like I get an injection of like, I'm ready, like, let's do this. And then it's like, oh, but DMO is boring. DMO is not boring. DMO is where you get to change lives. It's where you get to meet potentially your new besties, your new family, right? Your new people. So I want you guys to ask yourself, as much as I'm showing up on social media, how is my non-negotiable daily structure for myself and my business? Because there is a real, and I'm pretty sure everyone on this call is female, or hopefully or feminine, identifies as a female, I'm not sure. But there is a lot of feminine energy around structure, and it allows you less of, what do I feel like doing today? As women, we have a certain amount of decisions that we can make per day. Does anyone ever get to the end of the day and you're like, I don't know what to make for dinner. I don't want to make the decision. I don't like you. Does anyone run a decision fatigue? Do you guys get that, or is it just me? Simone does. Yeah, Beth. Yeah. So make your life easier by having structure. There are things, it's all in my calendar. Yeah, okay, you guys get it. They're all in my calendar and it's a non-negotiable. It takes away decision fatigue for me. Every single day I'm doing my DMO. Every day of the week I have different particular things I do or different things I post about. Today it was a product post, like there's so many different things. But what the main thing is it keeps me in my feminine energy because it's my structure and it allows me to feel safe in that container. The bigger the structure, the stronger the creativity, right? And we live in a world now, guys, just to remind you of this, and we'll get onto some conversations if anyone's got any. We live in a world where focus is more important than intelligence. Okay? People right now who know less than you, who are less educated, know less about network marketing, less about life in general. There are people who are doing better than all of us because they are focused, right? Focus is more important than intelligence here. Trust me, I never finished school. I got to grade 10 and I was like, I'm kicking this. My parents loved that. I don't have a high school education. I did not go to university. I'm not smarter than anyone, but I'm more focused than most people. And so if you can get laser focused on your day, on what needs to happen, on the activities that are going to pay you, you will go so far in this business. I can promise you that. And when you get overwhelmed or feel like, this is too much, or you're being too much, or like whatever's going on, or you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do it, just remember the people that you get to impact through this. And lastly, one last thing, stay authentic with your social media. Don't try and be someone else. Don't try and, I'm going to you can take inspiration. Like I say to my team all the time, when I post something, copy it. Like I want my team to post everything I do. Most of the reason I post is because I'm like, I want my team to see it and do the same thing. Do exactly what I do. You're all welcome to do that, right? When it comes to this business, go for it. Go nuts. But do it as you authentically, because a breath of fresh air is a great thing to take, but an even better thing to be. And the only way to be a breath of fresh air for people is for people to see you authentically standing in who you are and owning that. So when you're doing all of this stuff I'm teaching you guys on social media, do it as you. Don't get on and be like, I want to sound like Ange, or I'm going to post like Ange, or like none of that. Don't do it like anyone. Kimberly, me, Shani, none of the other leaders. Don't try and be like anyone. Take inspiration from the content. You can copy all our stuff, go for it, but just do it as you. Okay. Now, I want to open it up to any questions anyone has around conversation. So again, this is a really good space to come to if you're like, I've got this objection or I don't know what to say here. The rule is first off mute is first that gets the attention, or if you can't come off mute because maybe you're carrying a baby, you can pop it in the chat. So while I take a sip of my juice, I'm on a juice cleanse and it's absolutely killing me today. Type it in the chat or bring yourself off mute. And if not, you guys all just get to go and do some DMO.
Hey, Ange, can I ask a question, please? So Nick here in NZ. I have a small following, but it's quite a specific following. It's in hiking and mountain running. So my page is quite, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot on my page that shows any capsules or a team and that sort of thing, because I kind of can't connect the dots that are an image of a computer of us all on training that matches the outside, outdoors life I live.
Do you kind of like running, hiking? That's like, do you work or is that like your full-time thing? Tell me more.
It's like about to start a new job, so in between jobs at the moment. But yeah, that's just my fun time.
Why are you here? What do you want to create out of this?
Extra income.
Yeah. To be able to just have more money, or to work less, or what do you want to do more of?
The choices you get with extra money.
Yeah. Are there any particular choices right now that you would be making if you had extra income coming in?
More adventures.
Okay, done. All right, perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. So there's a couple of things. First and foremost, do you know about the studies around our capsules and recovery?
Yep.
Do you find it handy to have your complete in your bag when you're on a hike or when you're running or when you're doing any of that stuff? And it's like, this is really handy. Like, this is
I do. So I share those things on my stories. But then on my pretty little wee grid pictures, that gets in the way of my beautiful mountain shots. So I'm that's the two dots I'm trying to join. So I do have a lot of my stories and my highlights, but
Can you just have like a picture of your shaker with the beautiful mountain view, or that's the other question is like, are you willing to kind of change up your aesthetic to have more of this on there?
And so that's what so the landing on my page needs to be a little bit more dual purpose.
Well, I mean, another thing you can do is like, immediately when you said that, I was like, well, first and foremost, like from a product perspective, which is probably the easier part, it's recovery, it's nutrition, it's I've got my complete, I'm taking it with me. Like, this is like, if you love running high, if you love these things like I do, nutrition is so important. Like, you need to be at your optimal, right? So that's the obvious part around the products, but around the business, you literally said more adventures. You can do a photo of a gorgeous mountain and say, you know what, I love that I get to create an extra income and teach other people how they can, so we can have more magic moments like this in our life. More adventure. You can still post your gorgeous photo of the mountain, and you can say, what I was thinking about while I was hiking is, something I'm grateful for about the business, or, here's a story about someone else in our community who loves what we do. Like, you can still put the same pictures, right? If it's like, you really want your aesthetic to stay the same, but it's what you're writing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And just connect them, like connect what you're doing with what you want more of. Again, it's like, you want more adventure, get specific of like what that adventure is. Where are you going when you've saved a certain amount of dollars? What are you doing when you have this much extra income coming in? And talk to people about that, like, just in your stories, I'm on this journey and this is what I'm going to have more of in my life. And I'm so excited to share it with you guys. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I can still have my aesthetic as just attaching the wording. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like, I'm like that. I like pretty pictures. I get it. So if you got a thing, then stick with it. Just make the words make sense for what you have here.
Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. Amazing.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Bring yourself off mute or type in the chat. I'm just going to check if there's anything. No, Simone's exactly the same as you, Nick. You guys can chat. Simone, hi.
Hello. Yeah, everything you were saying then, Nick, resonates with me. I run a health and fitness. I'm a personal trainer. Yeah. So yeah, my page is all about health and that, which obviously again, the product side, I'm using that a lot. But yeah, I really need to work on bringing now how the business side. So I guess my question and you sort of touched on it, was the people I'm approaching, they're like, but you know it all. Yeah. So just being able to be able to share, like you said, probably more of other people in my team and how they're doing it, because that's what I get back a lot too. Oh yeah, you know all that, you can do it, you've got time, I'm like, no, I don't.
Would you maybe even do like a little series, like once a week you find someone in the community who you interview in your business page about how they do this, how it works for them, what it's been for them, like a little 5-10 minute, like you guys jump on Zoom like this, and it's, maybe you have 3 to 5 questions. It's like, name it something clever that kind of fits in with because you do it on your business page, don't you?
Yeah, and that's where again I'm getting a little stuck between my business, my community, my personal. I'm like, and I don't want my existing, how do I say this? So I have a lot of people on a health and fitness community page, which I guess they followed me because of, I guess it's my journey, but the fitness and that. And then I just feel like all of a sudden I'm not spamming, but it's all now, I don't want to join that, because as soon as I join the group, now all I see is her talking about.
Well, no, you want to, I would say 10% is you talking about the business. 10%. Okay. Just keep it small. And that's like everything, right? I want you guys to mostly be adding value to people. I don't want you to be just talking about your business or your products. Like that's it. Like if I go onto a page and I'm like, oh my gosh, I go in their stories and it's like, oh, there's their product again, and then there's product again and a product again. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so bored. Like I don't want to see your products all day. I came here for a reason. So people go onto my page and they know what they came for, and I give them that 80% of the time. 10% of the time they get product stuff. The other 10% they get business stuff. So it's like, you want to do the same thing where there's just little tiny like bits and pieces, and it can be very specific to like, hey, like I'm going to be talking a little bit more about how I teach women who are passionate about health and wellness and helping others, how they can monetize that passion. So people coming into your page, they're wanting to know more about fitness and health, right? And so it's saying to them, hey, if you want to know more about health and fitness, but you also love the idea of inspiring others, watch this series. I'm going to be here every Wednesday at 10 a.m. interviewing someone who's been able to create an income through inspiring wellness in others like I have. Like if you're interested, jump on, you just offer it. You're like, it's there if you want it. You don't have to watch. I'm not taping your eyes open and holding a gun to your head. Like if you want it, it's there, But that's what and just show them people like them who don't have, who aren't personal trainers, who don't have a community already, and just, go into your team page and just be like, hey, who would love to be interviewed? I need someone who's, built this up and they're doing it around their life, and they don't have, any kind of qualifications around health or training. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else, my friend?
I'm good.
Okay, good. Thanks. I hope that helped. Samantha said, I've been using Bet Craig's idea of Sunday, Monday talking about the biz on social. I like Sunday, may do a post around the benefits of the biz, and then Monday I talk about the opportunity. Yeah. Like Sunday night, I don't know about you guys, but Sunday night, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to go back to work. Like people are like, the weekend's over. They've had fun. And then they're like, I'm going back to this. Well, not everyone. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people are like, I don't want to go back to work. Like I want to live my life. I want to have fun. So talking about that, not us, definitely not us, but talk about it. That's when I do like my most hectic follow-up. Like I'm following people up as much as humanly possible on a Sunday night, because I'm like, I know that like 80% of you are like not wanting to go to work tomorrow. So I'm going to help you out. What are the 3 C's? Confident, certain, and charismatic. Charismatic. Awesome, guys. Well, this is on every week. Get your team on. Again, we're just going to be talking about attracting team, helping you guys through conversations. So come with your questions, come with anything that you need. I can't wait to see you guys next week. And I can't wait to see all of you at conference. So have a really beautiful afternoon, and I will pop this recording up as well for all of your teams. Bye, guys.